So again, special gratitude to all of you. I know on Saturday morning, there are tons of things which everyone has to do, but all of you took out time from your busy schedule. So we'll start with the prayers. Om Gyan Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you again for joining. Today is the following for Ekadashi and the day of Dwadashi of Varadwadashi. So you know how Lord Varadev came to uplift Mother Earth when Mother Earth is overpowered by the demoniac influences like Hiranyaksha, etc. Similarly, our consciousness is also time and again overpowered by the evil influences, the demoniac influences of lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion, etc. So Krishna comes time and again to uplift our consciousness through the medium of Bhagavad Gita and removes the mala, right? How Mother Earth was taken out from the waters. So maline mochanam pumsam jalasnana dine dine sakrit gita amrita snana samsara malanashanam. Similarly, we will be cleansed. How we are cleansed by taking bath in the water of the impurities externally. Similarly, the internal impurities are cleansed when we take bath in the Ganges of Bhagavad Gita. So grateful to all of you for giving this wonderful opportunity. We read till text number 27 last time. Text 26 and 27 from this. These are the very, very important verses, 26 to basically till the end or 34. Therefore, we are spending a little more time here rather than trying to rush through these verses. Because the essence of Bhagavad Gita is in the middle, like how we discussed multiple times, the example of like sandwich, the essence is in the middle. The other example given is like the ring and the diamond. So the gold ring is studded by a diamond within. So the diamond is even more important. Of course, the ring is also important, but the diamond in the middle is more important. And within the 9th chapter, this particular section talks about the glories of bhakti. from text 26 onwards. If you remember, we were discussing the acronym KING, K-I-N-G. The G stands for the glories of bhakti, which starts from 26 to 34. One point which I want to add in this, from the last discussion, the Patram Pushpam Phalam verse, which we discuss in great detail, and the inner meaning also, talks about bhakti yoga. But the text 27 talks more about karma yoga or nishkam karma yoga. Now one may wonder, why? What is the difference? Because in this text, the essence is what Krishna wants us to offer to him, right? In bhakti yoga, the difference is a devotee tries to understand, as we read in the purport also, when we when let's say a special friend is coming, or whom we have a lot of love and respect is coming, if they are coming to our home, we will want to offer them what they like, not what I like and I will cook for them because I like that and I will just give that. So these two this point is the essential difference between the bhakti yoga and karma yoga. In text 27, what is the emphasis? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever tapasya you do, whatever charity, do it as an offering to me. So in the emphasis is whatever you are doing. For example, if someone says, no, I like to do this activity and I will do this activity only because I like to do it, but I will do it as an offering to Krishna. That's karma yoga. In bhakti yoga, the focus is, oh my Lord, oh spiritual master, you tell me what is best activity for me to do and I will do that. Does it make sense or is it very technical? Is everyone okay with that point? Therefore, Krishna, in the beginning, Arjuna didn't want to fight, right? Because he wanted to do his way. But when Krishna guided him, then Arjuna said, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do your words. So this is very important difference. Now we will move to the next verse, which is text 28. And like always, if anyone wants to read, you can raise your hand, so you'll get your turns. So yes, we'll start with Avni.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam. Shubha Shubha Valer Evam Mokshase Karma Bandhanai Sanyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upashyasi. Translation: in this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. We will read part of the purport as well, the first few lines here. Yes, Rashmi, Mataji, you want to read, please? Please unmute. Can you please unmute, Mataji? We can't hear you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna devotees. Okay. You will read their purport. One who acts in Krishna consciousness under supreme directions is called Yukta. The technical term is Yukta Vairagya. This is further explained by Rupa Goswami as follows. Anasakatasya Vishayan Yathar Ham Upayujataha Nirbandhaha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagyam Yukyate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255. Rupa Goswami says that as long as we are in this material world, we have to act. We cannot cease acting. Therefore, if actions are performed and the fruits are given to Krishna, then that is called yukta, viragya.
Thank you, Mataji.
I'm sorry.
Very nice. Yeah, we'll take portions of the purport. So we'll take this point first. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So this verse talks about what's the outcome of those who dovetail their activities. Basically, what we discussed in text number 27. What happens to them? So gradually, the purification will happen. Even through karma yoga, one will get to nishkam karma yoga and ultimately to bhakti yoga. So Krishna does not encourage premature renunciation of activities, which we have discussed multiple times. The renunciation has to be in the spirit, not renouncing the activity in itself. So I heard two very important points from His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. So on the name of responsibility, we should not get attached, right, to the activity. Oh, it's my responsibility, it's my responsibility, it's my responsibility. But people are so attached to those things, whether it's the home, or maintaining the home is my responsibility, or maintaining the kids is my responsibility. That's correct. No doubt in that. But at the same time, the higher responsibility is also there to help the kids and one's own self to get out of the cycle of birth and death. That's a much bigger responsibility. And on the contrary, some people may take it to the other extreme. On the name of detachment, they may leave their responsibility, forget about home, forget about everything, forget, because ultimately everything is very short term. Why worry about all these things? So they may have not attained, for a student, for example, why should I study? Ultimately, this is material knowledge. Ultimately, this will not be of any spiritual use, etc., etc. One may have, these false ideas and give up the study itself, right? That's one side of the pendulum, one extreme. But the other extreme could be, oh, studies is everything. Studies is everything. I need to get the best and the best because I'm great. I have to prove to the whole world. So the I is more focused there. But we have to follow a nice balanced approach. And yes, I have to study, because by studying nicely or doing my activities nicely, I will be able to offer the results and the activity to the Supreme Lord and be a good example, which will in turn help to inspire others as well to take to this process. This is a balanced mood. And Srila Prabhupada is quoting Srila Rupa Goswami from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There are 4 types of Vairagis actually. Let's discuss these 4 types of Vairagis. Okay, here. So number 1 is Markat Vairagi. Like monkey renunciation. We know that monkey may just eat fruits and berries, very simple living, right? In the forest, vegetarian lifestyle. But his mind is always thinking about sense gratification, opposite sex, etc. And he's indulging in those activities, But externally, oh, I just eat very fruits and berries. I don't eat very opulent things. I live in the forest. So this is called false renunciation. The next one is Shamshan Vairagi. Shamshan means cremation, or at the funeral, what are people generally saying? Oh, he was such a noble person. Ultimately, he had so much money. It's all left out. No one talks ill about others. Everyone is, in a mode of goodness. Life is very short, Ultimately, all our wealth, all our property, cars will remain here only. So we should also think about some higher thing in life. We should also work on spiritual life, right? People are generally very Ram Nam Satya hai. Ram Nam is always Satya. The names of Lord, Satyam Satyam Punah Satyam. Hari Nam Eva Kevalam. It's not that at the cremation ground, the Ram Nam is Satya. It's always Satya. It's always the real absolute truth. Right? We were discussing in the Bhagavatam this beautiful verse, which the demigods are praying. Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satya Satyasya Satyam Rita Satyanetram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapannai. The demigods are offering these prayers. When the Krishna is in the womb of his mother, Devaki, the demigods offer this prayer in Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Lord is the supreme Satya, the supreme absolute truth, always. But some people only remember that at the cremation. And guess what happens after 2 days, or it could be 2 weeks, or it could be 2 months. The time may vary. They will go back to their old habits, eating, sleeping, drinking alcohol, and eating all sorts of things. Basically, back to square. They'll forget about all the real principles of life, forget about higher, goals, aspiration, back to grind. That's called Shamshan Vairagi, temporary so-called renunciate. Then the next is Falagu Vairagi, and then the Yukt Vairagi. So Falagu Vairagi is externally showing, oh, Maya, very dangerous. Don't, there was a Baba, he said, don't bring money close to me. Take money away, take money away. I don't even touch money. Or things which are meant or could be potentially used in the service of the Lord, not using them is Falagu, or a pretender. So Falagu is a river in Bihar, which I think I've discussed this multiple points, but I'm just repeating. Did we discuss this for Varagis in the past? Anyone remember? Recall? Have we discussed? Okay. Okay, so should I continue? Is it making sense? Anyone able to understand? Okay. So Falgu is a river in Bihar. From outside, it appears very dry. It just sat, right? And actually, I got a chance to even see that way back when I was maybe like 9 years or 10 years old. So with my grandmother, I went there. So a lot of people, what they put just beneath the surface, like 1 or 2 feet beneath, the whole river is flowing. So from outside, it cannot be seen. And the river is flowing understream. So similarly, there could be people outside, they say, no, they may wear the dress of a sannyasi, they may get big beard like a Babaji, but inside the desire, the river of desires, of material desires, lust, anger, etc., is flowing very, very heavily. So, but the outside, they are called Mithyacharis or Falagu Vairagis because they are pretending, oh, I live in a ashram, I don't touch money and this and that. So this is also not encouraged in bhakti. Rather, this is better be a sincere sweeper on the street than to be an artificial renunciate, Prabhupada mentions. Artificial renunciation is highly discouraged because one inside is not clean and outside takes the dress of a sannyasi, will cause havoc to oneself and to others also, and pollute the whole system. People will lose faith by seeing him. Oh, outside he pretends very nicely, but behind the scene he's drinking alcohol, smoking cigarette. People will think all these sadhus are like that. So it's a havoc for the society. Then is what is recommended is Yukta Vairagya. Knowing that everything belongs to the Lord Krishna, He is the Bhokta, He is the proprietor, He is everything. And we should try our best to engage all what it belongs to Him in His service to the best of our abilities. This is Yukta Vairagya. And Prabhupada mentioned in the first line of the purport, one who acts in Krishna consciousness under superior direction. So superior direction or Guru, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, Pad Pradarshak Guru, they're very important. Because how will we know how to engage our time, our home, our car, or everything is Krishna's, but we say it's my car, iPhone, iPad, I car maybe will come soon. So car, ahankar, right? Car also means flesh. Ahankar, I am this body. I am this body of flesh. So the point is we need direction, right? We need guidance. Like how Prabhupada Before Prabhupada, no one used to travel the ocean. The sadhus were not allowed. Even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the spiritual master of Prabhupada, used car at that time. People were, discouraging him and saying all sorts of, bad words. That, oh, you're a sadhu. Sadhus are you supposed to travel by feet? Why are you using a car? But if that helps, if Prabhupada would have not taken the Jaladuta and later multiple flights travel across the globe multiple times, would there have been so many thousands of disciples and books? And he's called Jet Age Acharya. He's used jet planes and big mansions and millions of dollars. Why? Not for his own self, to serve the Supreme Lord and his children, all the devotees and all the people, all the masses. This is Yukta Vairagya, which is a nice Anasaktasya Vishayan Yatharham Upayunjataha Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Uchyate. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. So connecting, or Sambandha means relationship. So connecting it to Krishna, whatever is possible to connect, and practically everything can be connected to Krishna if we have superior guidance. Whereas on the contrary, prapanchikataya buddhaya harisambandhana vastunaha mumukshu parityago vairagyam falagu kathyate. One, on the other hand, who rejects everything without knowledge of its relationship with the Lord, with Krishna, is not as complete in his renunciation. So his renunciation is basically falagu, or shallow, or mithyachar. So in short, we should not artificially renounce the activity. Rather, we should try to follow the principle of Yukta Vairagya. But on the name of Yukta Vairagya, we should not become attached to that, or we should make sure that it's really Yukta Vairagya. It's not that 99.9% I'm using for my own selfish things, and 0.1% I say, oh, it's for Krishna, and it is Yukta Vairagya. Right? At least whatever our percentage is, we can gradually try to increase that. Right? So this is basically Krishna consciousness. This is Yukta Vairagya. This is what the Supreme Lord is telling. And what will happen to that person? Vimukto mam upashyasi. That person will be freed from all bondage, all good and bad, all pious, impious activities, reactions, and all the past, present, everything, he will be free. Why? Because his mind is engaged in Yukta Vairagya, or Krishna consciousness in short, and will be liberated. So point to be noted here, the word mukti is not used. Mukti means liberation, and the word vimukti is used. So Srila Balavidya Vidya Bhushan mentions on this word vimukti is Vishesha Mukti, and that basically refers to back home, back to Godhead. That in short, that person will come to me. Of this, there is no doubt. So we talked about the 4 types of Vairagi and what we should become and what we should not become. Okay, so we'll read text 29. Who would like to read this? Yes, Karina? Maybe one can read the verse, one will read the translation, so more devotees can get turns.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam August Shri Prabhupada. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapiyaham. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so with this we will read the purport as well. So it's a very important purport. But it's a 1 paragraph, or 2 paragraphs. So we'll take different sections. Okay. Yes, Aradhana Mataji, want to read? Yeah, let's start
Yes,
with the
Prabhuji.
translation.
Jai Shri Krishna. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Purport. One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in his material world may be variably charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form, is his son. So he provides everyone with a generous supply of necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists, situated in him. The Lord says here indistinctly, Mayate, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the word ye yata mam praptayante tamastateva bhajami aham. Whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of him. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter. And when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes a devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity. But in the personalist philosophy, there is.
Thank you, Antaji. All these points are so deep. We can meditate upon this for forever. Very, very important verse. So let's take some points from here. Krishna is mentioning here samoham. Sama means same. The word same actually comes from sama, means equipoised or equally disposed. So I am equipoised. Krishna is saying aham sarva bhuteshu. Bhut doesn't mean the ghost. Bhuta also means living entities. Na me dveshyo, na priyaha. I envy no one, but I'm not. So no one is like. I'm not partial, in short, right? I'm equal to all. I'm equipoised towards all. It's very interesting. Krishna says in chapter 4, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita. Does that sound equipoised? That I come to destroy the demons and to protect my devotees? That does not sound equipoised. So, even Yudhishthira Maharaj asked this question to Narada Muni in Canto 7. And the whole Prahlad Maharaj pastime begins at this premise: is Lord partial or not? So in this verse, we see Krishna is impartially partial. This is a sweet word used for the Lord, that how the Lord is impartially partial to all. So let's try to understand what does this really mean. Because Prabhupada is referring here about the reciprocal relationship. So the first part of this paragraph or this verse talks about the Lord as Paramatma. The Lord as Paramatma is a neutral for all, right? Like the two birds on the tree, he is in the hearts of the demons as well. He's in everyone. And he is not partial to anyone as Paramatma. But the second part of this verse, those who worship me, those who are my devotees, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham, I become a special friend to them, like Prahlad Maharaj. Krishna says that actually, if anyone is an enemy of Pandavas, he is my enemy. Indrari vyakulam loke mridayanti yuge yuge. जो इंद्र को व्याकुल करते हैं, that means those who trouble Indra, who is my devotee, I will destroy them. I will come again and again to uproot those demoniac people. So in multiple verses, Krishna says, and yeah, last time also we discussed the story of Ramdas and the reciprocal relationship, how Lord was reciprocating. I'll share one more story since all of you like stories, right? So there was a servant of Duryodhana. We know Duryodhana was the main villain in the Mahabharata. And he had a personal kind of massage therapist who would come to massage him. King, very opulent, so he had those facilities, personal massage therapist. So he would come and give massage to Duryodhana, especially in the battle. Person is so tired, etc., etc. And these are Kshatriyas. So one fine, and this massage therapist was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So he was a great devotee, but somehow he had to do his job. That was his job, that was his profession he was doing. And one fine day, he was very ill. This devotee of Lord was very, very ill. And he had no strength to even walk, what to speak of, serving Duryodhana. So he was thinking now, what will happen? I can't go to my job, and I don't get sick days or personal days or any kind of those days. Now Duryodhana will kick me out of the job and I will be jobless, and I have no money. How will I maintain my family? How will I pay my bills? And he was concerned that he will lose his job because he can't go to work for that day. And guess what? He was meditating, praying to Krishna, because ultimately Supreme Lord helps everyone, especially his devotees. The Lord says that I can do anything for my devotee, and devotee says I can do anything for my Lord. Right? This is the reciprocal relationship. The devotee can go to any extent for the Lord. Right? Like Ramdas coming all the way. And the Lord can go to any extent for his devotee. Even become his sarthi, even become his driver, even willing to do anything and everything for him. For one who has that faith, for one, ye bhajan, what's that verse? Ye thamam prapadyante, tam sataiv bhajamyam. As you approach me, I will reciprocate accordingly. That's what the Lord is mentioning here. So that day, this person could not go to work. And next morning happened. Next morning, he was feeling a little better and he took some rest and maybe some Ayurvedic medicine to recover. And next day, he could go to work. And he was very, very sorry. Oh, my dear master, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I couldn't come. I was really very sick. Please don't kick me out of the job. I really want to, I really need this work. So please, I apologize for my bad health and I couldn't serve you yesterday. Please forgive me. And Drona said, what are you talking about? Yesterday, the massage you did, I had never experienced such before. Your hands were so soft and you were doing, and then yesterday, your complexion also looked a little bluish. And then this devotee realized that, that the Lord personally came and he disguised himself as him or this devotee to become the servant of Duryodhana, who is not a devotee, by the way. I mean, but to assist this devotee, the massage therapist, the Lord could go to any extent, right? And even in the Rajasri Yagya, the Lord was washing the feet of everyone. So there are multiple exchanges, multiple stories, real stories. These are not some fictitious tales or fairy tales. These are real episodes which are happening even now also. If we have the eyes to see and the faith and the trust and the devotion, we will experience that. So this is the reciprocal relationship. Even in the mundane sphere, we see like the teacher is equal to all, right? Does you agree? The teacher is equal to all. When teacher is giving a class, the teacher is equal to all. The teacher is not telling like for example, in a classroom, the teacher is speaking the same thing, right, to everyone. The teacher is not going secretly selective in one person's ear and telling some special formula, some special equation. The teacher is giving this, it's the same board, the same projector, it's the same thing, but everyone takes it differently, right? The student who takes it very seriously will get the most result. And there could be students who could be sitting very inattentively, not paying attention, doing or playing with their phones, or even in the Zoom environment, especially these days, right? Is it's hard to even see what the person is doing. We go by the assumption that like, almost like 50% or more always the cameras are off. I don't know, they're driving or eating or sleeping or watching movie parallelly, and what they like, there could be a million things going on, but we go with the positive faith that everyone is listening attentively, so that gives me hope, keeps me going. so but and then a few have their camera on, so that keeps me inspired to and me to be awake and keep the camera on. So the point is, and then some students will go in the office hours or after class hours, hey teacher, sir, madam, I could not really get this point, can you help me better understand this? Will the teacher like it, or the teacher will be unhappy about it? What do you say? Any students want to share? Will the teacher like that point, or the teacher will say, why the hell you have come to me? What do you think, Karina? Anyone can unmute and share? Yeah.
I think it depends if I feel like it depends if they know that you are trying to listen and figure it out or not. Like, for example, like if you didn't get the point, but she knows you were trying to listen and like try to get it like sorted out, she would be happy about it. But if you weren't paying attention at all, then probably she would be mad about it because you didn't pay attention to the whole thing. So why are you coming to her now?
That's a very good point. I like your insights. Yeah, in general, if they're trying to pay attention and trying to seek clarifications, a good teacher will appreciate that. They look at the student, they are trying to genuinely understand, and they have some follow-up questions which they are trying to sort it out. So same with the kids, if they ask genuine, questions, the parents are happy to share. So things like that. So that will make them more dear in the eyes of the teacher or the parents or the guru, right? And some will be least bothered. They will miss the class. They will miss the paying attention in the class, etc. So the teacher is not partial. The teacher is giving the same thing. The other example given is like a rain, right? Rain pours, and is rain partial to the mango tree versus the neem tree? The rain is equal, but the sweet tree gives sweet fruit and the bitter tree gives bitter fruit. Why? Because of their intrinsic nature, right? They are taking the rain, but absorbing it differently. So similarly, the non-devotees, it's not that they don't have access to Bhagavad Gita, but they don't want to follow this process out of choice or out of ignorance, right? So Bhagavad Gita is available for all. It's not that it takes millions of dollars to get Bhagavad Gita, or it's not that it's a very, very rare commodity which is only available to a certain section of society or a certain country. It's an open secret. But why very few people want to take it? Because of their conscious choice. And because of the choices we make, either we will become a devotee or non-devotee, or either we will become a dear friend to the Lord or not so dear. And also, the non-devotees also have the access to become a devotee, right? Like Jagai Madai, Nalkuver Manikri, so many examples. The past does not matter. Every saint had a past. Every sinner has a future, right? So they will also become dear. The Lord is not saying that, okay, from this point onward, those who are devotees, they are only very dear to me. So that's how we see the Lord is impartially partial. He is equal to all as Paramatma, as we saw, like the rain example, the teacher example. But those who are special to him, those who approach in a special way, the Lord gives special attention because he has to reciprocate. The very beautiful example about diamond and gold is also given. So devotees like diamond, the Lord is like gold. That when the gold is with diamond, it's glorified even more. So when we connect ourselves with the Supreme Lord, we will also be happy. In serving Krishna, in giving joy to Krishna, we really become joyful. In being selfish, we suffer, right? In just trying to focus on ourselves, we become selfish and we continue to suffer more and more. So this is about the impartially partial nature of the Supreme Lord. And we'll just read one last line from the purport here. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this world. It is part of the spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. Satchit Ananda. So bhakti is not an activity of this world. Very, very important. Rendering bhakti is a spiritual activity. It's transcendental. It's beyond it's a karma. It's very, very important. So let's see. We'll cover 2 more verses if Krishna willing. So let's see the next verse, text 30. Okay, Vinita, what did you want to do?
Hare Krishna. Abhichetsu duracharo vajate mamananyabhak sadureva samantavya samyag vyavasito hi sa. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, thank you. Veda, you want to read the first paragraph?
Hare Krishna. When the word sudurachara is used in this verse is very significant, and we should understand it properly. When a living entity is conditioned, he has 2 kinds of activities. One is conditional and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees, in connection with the conditional life, and such activities are called conditional. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of their spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in the constitutional position and they are technically called devotional service. Now in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these activities become opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that they do not do anything that could disrupt their wholesome condition. Note that perfection in their activities depends on their progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. Sometimes, however, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically.
But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify them. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, purifies them and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared, but Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path, for as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. Haribol.
Very well. Thank you so much. In the path of bhakti, there is always success, right? There is no question of failure. Mhm. So, isn't this path of bhakti so wonderful? In the material life, when we make a lot of attempts, a lot of hard work, still it could lead to a big failure. For example, someone is preparing for a very competitive exam. They study very hard, very hard, very hard. The day of exam, they fall really sick. Will it be considered? Will the government or whatever the examination authority consider, oh, you are very intelligent, you gave a lot of good mock exams, but somehow you couldn't get to the day of exam, but we will still pass you with flying colors. In the material world, a lot of effort is put, the results are very little. But in the spiritual life, even little endeavor leads to great results. And Krishna is so merciful. He's saying that even if accidental fall down, so accidental fall down is a very important word here. It should not be premeditated, because accident is what? Accident means we don't want it. No one plans for accident. No one wants to get into an accident. It's unwilling, it's unplanned, yet it happens, right? Yet we see it happens, right? There are weird cases of, planned accidents, which, people getting crazy and, all that stuff. But 99.9%, they're unplanned, unwanted accident. Therefore, they're called accident. It was not a premeditated endeavor to cause harm to others, right? Or to oneself. So similarly, in the path of bhakti, it may happen, especially when we are not at the level of pure devotee, right? So when we see mistakes, we should try to, if it happens to us, let's say we did something which was not appropriate. I did something which was not appropriate. I should, there are 6 steps to take care of it. Should we try to understand those 6 steps? And these are very important. This is called the 6R formula. A genuine person makes mistake, right? A genuine person, to err is human. We are not perfect God that we will never make a mistake. Even mistake means unwanted, unplanned things happen, which we didn't intend to do, but somehow or the other, due to circumstance or accidentally, we ended up doing that. So what's the first step? To be honest and humble and be self-reflective about it. That, my Lord, I ended up doing something which I didn't intend to do. I said something in inappropriate words, or I did some action which my guru would not be happy about, and things like that. A genuine person makes mistake and is humble about it and is honest and reflects about it, and then comes to realization. Because if the first step is not there, then the person will not realize that mistake. A proud person will rather think, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. So a genuine person is continually trying to improve oneself. One extreme is, oh, I am an ocean of mistakes. I am just making mistakes. All there is no good use of my life. And a lot of people end into a lot of negativity, and they may they may go into depression and suicidal tendencies, etc., which is the other extreme, right? That there is no hope. We should never be hopeless. We should always have hope. We should be helpless and take shelter of the Lord, rather than, these days so many people going through these negative emotions, especially in this, whole world is seeing so much negativity, so much, you know, loss of family member, loss of jobs for some, loss of health for some, a lot of upheavals in the past 2 years, which are always there. Birth, old age, disease are always there. But we should never be so hopeless that we feel that Krishna cannot help us, right? Whenever we go through a low phase in life, we should learn to bounce back, right? Because Prabhupada mentions accident happens at the royal roads as well, right? And we are in the path of purification. If we give up, like a child trying to ride a bicycle, the child will fall. That's a failure is a stepping stone. It's a failure when we stop endeavoring, and when we lose all hopes. We stop the endeavor and we lose all the hopes, and we don't try it again. Even from the material, like examples like Edison, he said 1,000 times he tried to make a bulb, but it didn't work. He said, did he fail? No, he said, I learned 1,000 ways not to do that. And then finally he could get to that. And there are other such multiple examples. So a proud person who acts whimsically will never self-reflect and will never understand the mistake she did. A mistake which makes us humble is better than an achievement which makes us proud. Because humility is required for self-reflection, that I am also vulnerable. I can also commit mistakes. Then they will come to the second step of realizing it, right? That I did this mistake, this part on my, this act or these words were not right on my part. And they will regret it. They will repent about it. They will not go in their cocoon of negativity and never come out of it, which some people do. Regret and repentance is good, but it should help us to bounce back. Because what good is the regret or repentance if we cannot fix it, right? Because the next step is, okay, I did a mistake. I should be more careful next time, and let's try to rectify it. Let's say I spoke harsh words to so-and-so Prabhu. I realized that I spoke harsh words. I regret it. I repent it. I should have not done that. But now it's time to rectify also, and go to that person and say, my dear Prabhu, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that, but somehow because of my lower modes overpowered me, and I really beg for forgiveness to you. Please forgive me. We should try to fix it. And not just that, we should do something which will help to fix that. So that's rectification or reformation. Then we should not repeat that mistake. It should not be next week, same I speak harsh word to the same person. Then what good? That means I didn't learn anything from it. That means, so we should remember also. So remember that I'm vulnerable, I'm prone to mistakes. I have my so many anarthas still lingering in my heart, which I can do mistakes. So these are the 6 steps which will help us for rectification of accidental and unplanned, unwilling mistakes or fall downs. And even Krishna says, so this is if it happens to me as an individual, right? If it happens to others, we should not take it very seriously. Hey, this person, you know what he did? Should I tell you what he did? Oh, he did so and so. Oh, he considered himself to be a great person, but I saw him doing that. And to the whole world loudly broadcasting, oh, this Prabhu did that. Oh, this Mataji did that. Unwillingly, we don't know the whole situation, but we become the medium to spread that negativity, that fault-finding attitude. It will never help us. Rather, it will degrade our own bhakti, our own life, and our own character. If Krishna is saying, sadhu reva samantavya, I consider that person as sadhu. If the Lord is willing to forgive that person who makes accidental mistake, who am I to judge that person that he or she is wrong? Right? If I can't forgive others for the mistakes they may have done, the Lord is willing to forgive. How do I expect the Lord to forgive me or others to forgive me for the mistakes I may have done? Right? ईश्वर स्वभावेर भक्तिर न लाए अपराध. ईश्वर का स्वभाव भक्त के अपराध नहीं लेती. He does not consider the aparad. Right? In Ranganath, if you go, the Lord's eyes are very, very almost like as good as closed. So what that means, that the Lord, if any impurities are there, the Lord closes his eyes. And in Jagannath Puri, the Lord's eyes are big so that he doesn't even have the eyelids. That means that the Lord is very, very careful to see even tiniest good. Alpa seva, bahumani. He magnifies it. The eyes are like a magnifying glass. He magnifies the good in the devotee and minimizes anything bad, and it nullifies it. But selfish or puffed up people, what they do, they maximize the little bad, they will maximize it. Oh, that person did this, this, this. And they cannot see good in others. So the good anyways, they will minimize. So we should learn to maximize bring out the best in others. Even if everyone has shortcomings, we should learn to minimize that and encourage them. We all, be a cause of joy and happiness to others. Bhakti means to bring out the best in others. Krishna consciousness is the process. Bhakti yoga is the process to bring out the best in our own self and to bring out the best in others. It doesn't take a great person to bring out the worst in others, right? Bringing out the worst in others is easy, but it takes a great person to bring out the best in one's own self and to bring out the best. And that applies to everyone, to our friends, family, son, daughter, parents, children, brother, sister. Because this is Bhakti Yoga. This is Vaishnavism. Even if there is mistake, Krishna says, Sadhu Reva Samantavya. Provided, let's see the last few lines on this part. Provided we're talking about accidental mistake. If it is premeditated, trying to harm someone or cause havoc in someone life, then Krishna will take it very seriously and cause great havoc in that person's life. So let's see this part. Yeah, maybe from here. Let's read the whole paragraph. Who would like to read? Anita Mataji? Yeah. Those who have not read.
On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable ways. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less than a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs, but when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs. As previously explained, no one should take the advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Thur. So nicely reading. There's so many nice points are here that it's a Vaishnava aparad to commit sinful or Nam aparad, sorry, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Naam ke bal par aparad, ya bhakti ke bal par aparad. On the strength of the holy name. Oh, think, like if someone asked Prabhupada, I am smoking, can I chant Hare Krishna? Prabhupada said, yes, you can chant Hare Krishna. Cheto darpana marjana. The purification will happen through the medium of the chanting of the holy names. And very soon, all your bad habits will go. But someone asked Prabhupada, I am chanting Hare Krishna, can I smoke? Prabhupada said, no. These two are totally different conditions. One is, starting the bhakti journey. No matter, every saint had a past, no matter whatever the past he had, like the Mrigari example, Narad Muni's disciple. Like Daku Ratnakar had a very bad past. He couldn't even chant the name Ram. When his spiritual master Narad Muni told, please chant the name Ram, he said, all I know is killing, mar, or mara, mara, mara. So he said, okay, you chant mara, mara, mara. So from mara, 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 from mara to Ram. That's how next. Therefore, bhakti means under the direction of spiritual master, who can help us to uplift from wherever our past may be, but there is always room. Every saint had a past and every sinner has a future. And we see that in so many stories. Megari's story, even the bad lady who came to put into illusion Haridas Thakur, she got transformed. So this is like a war against Maya. The Maya is very strong. Maya Duratteya. It's not easy. So we should be very compassionate to our own self, right? If we make a mistake, we should learn lessons, of course, but we should not just give up the process altogether, right? Or we should not point holes in the lives of others. Hey, you are chanting Hare Krishna, but I saw that you were angry the other day. As if I never get angry, as if I am full of anarthas and I'm looking at others' problems. That's not my problem. That's not my role. My role is to improve my own self. It is Guru's responsibility to help uplift the disciple. It's not. So unless we are at the position of Guru or parent or teacher, we should not try to point fingers to others, because pointing finger to, is like three fingers are pointing to me. That means that I should look in my own self first, then trying to point fingers at others. So, and again, the point is incidental fall down. It should not be premeditated. So let's see the difference between incidental and intentional. And this is the beauty of bhakti. Incidental means accidental, like not premeditated, right? Everyone knows that. And intentional means premeditated. So the Lord does not consider incidental fall down or incidental mistake. Yes or no? What do you say after all that hearing? Will he take it seriously? Incidental mistake? Will he take it seriously? Yes or no? No, right? That's what we're discussing. Sadhu reva samantave, he considers sadhu. But what about incidental or incidental service? Unknowingly, not premeditated seva. Isn't it wonderful? The Lord does not take incidental sin very seriously. He still considers, oh, my devotee made a small mistake, that's fine. Sometimes the baby kicks the mother doesn't take it seriously, right? The mother thinks, hey, why the hell you're kicking me? I'm your mother, right? Okay, it's a child makes a mistake, that's fine. Sometimes, it happens. It was, it's not his real thing. The mother takes it positively. She thinks only the good. But think about, Putana came to kill Krishna. It was and what about intentional sin or intentional like bad service? She wanted to do disservice to the Lord by killing, but the Lord only saw very tiny good was there, and very spark that she wants to feed me milk also. The Lord ignores the poison, takes the milk, ignores the bad, takes the positive. Isn't it beautiful? In the material world, if someone has a lot of good intentions also towards serving someone, the other person may try to see, oh, incidentally, he's trying to do something wrong to me. Maybe he has some hidden agenda. Maybe he has some crooked motives. But the Lord, even though the whole agenda could be crooked, the Lord is seeing the tiniest good. This is bhakti. Isn't it wonderful? So, what to speak of someone who is intentionally trying to serve Krishna? like Mata Yashoda, like Nanda Maharaj, and all of you were intentionally out of choice. It's not that incidentally you somehow landed up here, right? That they were trying to connect to something, but you incidentally clicked the wrong button and you got into this room, right? You intentionally, voluntarily are trying to serve the Lord by hearing Bhagavad Gita, by offering him different patram pushpam, by chanting the holy name. So that what will be the destination for such person, we cannot even fathom. That person is very, very glorious. So in the material life, even incidental or intentional mistake or incidental mistake, big havoc. In spiritual life, Krishna does not take it seriously. So a lot of wonderful points about intentional versus intentional, incidental versus intentional service. On the contrary, we can come contrast to material life and spiritual life, and incidental versus intentional sin, right? So let's take the last verse for today, and then we'll pause. Yes, Ravi Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, is my favorite sloka, one of my favorite one. Hari Bol. Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So we'll take just maybe one or two lines from the purport here. He puts the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart, and all sinful contaminations are naturally washed away. So that means that devotee who is rendering the Navdha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Krishna is in the heart of that devotee, devotee is in the heart of the Supreme Lord. Krishna does not know nothing but him, but the devotee knows nothing but his master. So continuously thinking of the Supreme Lord makes him pure. This is a formula to achieve purity. I read a very nice statement I heard. Advancement in bhakti depends upon purity of intentions and consistency of actions. Advancement in bhakti depends on purity of intentions and consistency of actions. Because if intentions are pure, and the endeavor should be there, just good intention, will not work. We are consistently trying to endeavor by the limbs of Navdha Bhakti, then certainly one will make rapid advancement, one will get pure, all the anarthas will be gradually washed away. That's what the Supreme Lord is mentioning here. And the last line of this purport, the chanting of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare should be continued without stoppage, apratihata, or consistently. This will protect a devotee from all accidental fall downs. So even if accidental fall downs happen, the devotee, the Lord will protect, the holy name will protect, and he thus remains perpetually free from all material contamination. This is like a real vaccine, which will not allow the viruses of this world, lust, anger, greed, to infect a devotee. Because in the material world, everyone is infected by these viruses: greed, envy, pride, lust. On the surface, people may be appearing to be best of the friends, but just scratching the surface, the real intentions are come out. Like if someone gets a promotion, they'll say, "Hey, congratulations! I'm so happy for you. Yeah. I really wanted it." But inside, they must be thinking, "Hey, why the hell I didn't get that? I deserve more. He doesn't work as hard as me. I think I should get this." Right? And somehow doing some political things and something to put them down. And so but one who is spiritual, one who is Krishna conscious, all these impurities will go. And why is Krishna telling Kaunteya Pratijani, "O son of Kunti, you declare it boldly"? That's also a very important point. that my devotee, na me bhakta pranashti, my devotee will never perish. Could Krishna not do that activity? But he's asking his devotee to declare it boldly, because the acharyas give this purport here that Krishna may break his vow. For example, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he told that I will not pick weapons. But when it comes to protecting his devotee, he can break his promise. So Krishna kept two things parallelly. One, protecting his devotee, and on the other side, Bhishma had taken a vow that today I will make Krishna lift weapons. So he has to keep his vow also, because he's also devotee. And on the other side, he has to keep his protect Arjuna also. So he does. He's a transcendental, personality. Ajanma karma chameti. He does both things by lifting that weapon. Therefore, he's asking Arjuna, you declare it, because I can go to any extent, but I will not let the words of my devotee go futile or go in vain. I will go to any extent to protect my devotee. So, and that's the whole point, how so many instances, Gajendra, Mata Draupadi, Krishna protects in so many ways, Prahlada. So I know every time I kind of tend to go overboard, and so I want to stop a little early so we have good time for questions. So just to sum up, we discuss about what is real Vairagya, what we should try to practice, Yukta Vairagya, not the other three types, and it will be free from all the different anarthas. Gradually purification will happen. We also discuss about the impartially partial nature of the Lord, and we discuss some examples like rain, teacher, parents, etc., the gold and diamond. Then we discuss about the 6R formula for self-rectification, but not trying to see the faults in others. So because Krishna is willing to forgive, who are we to find faults? And then finally, we discuss that how Krishna always protects his devotee and his devotee never perishes. And because when we see in the story of Amrish Maharaj also. So I like to pause here, and I see a few devotees have joined first time. So I would like to request them also to please share their thoughts. I see Arnav ji, Anil ji, Nidhi Gupta ji. So I'm so grateful to all of you for taking out your valuable time. So if anyone joining first time, please, you can share some thoughts, some comments. So grateful to all of you. Hare Krishna. Would those who are joining first time want to share something, or if not, then if anyone else, yeah, Arnav ji.
Yeah, Namaste Prabhuji. This is Kirti Patil from Atlanta. We got to know this from Ravi Prabhuji, and we are looking forward to follow these sessions. Dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
So grateful to you. So grateful for taking out your time.
Hi, hello Prabhuji, Hari Bol, and I want to thank Anita for recommending this session, and it was so insightful. I'm joining from Chicago, so all the learnings which I had today, like all the 6 R's and the insight, the rain example, and how we get lost in the material world, and how we, I mean, when the example you gave about the friends, for example, somebody saying false mouth about others, and how you should not get involved yourself into it, and all those examples are really, really insightful, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking out your time and giving your good association. We really value that. Thank you. Okay. So if anyone has any comments, questions, corrections, clarifications, we can discuss for next some time. You can either unmute or raise your hand or whatever is easy. Yes, Ravi, probably have your hand up.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
I have a one basic question, Prabhuji. The Mirgari and the Ratnakar Daku. Is the Ratnakar Daku became the Valmiki and the Mirgari is a different one, or they are all same?
Different. They are different person.
Different. So Mirgari is another who turned into be a devotee later on, and Ratnakar Daku was the one who turned into Valmiki Rishi.
Correct. Mhm.
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Their stories are also a little bit different. Same concept is same, but they are different personalities. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Aradhana Mataji, you had some
Yes,
points.
Prabhuji, I had a question. This is regarding last week's class. It was in 926, where Lord talks about in the purport, Prabhupada mentions vegetables, grains, fruits, milk, and water are proper foods for human beings and are prescribed by Lord Krishna himself. So my basic question is, wouldn't garlic and why do we not eat garlic and onion? Wouldn't that be considered fruit and vegetable from earth?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it's a long answer, but the short answer is that it's not that everything from the earth. I mean, one can say, well, the animals are also creation of the Lord. They're also part of the earth, right? So we have to see what the Lord is recommending. And the short answer is everything is classified in different modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. And the kind of ingredients we consume and what mode they are in, we will get those modes, right? Ahara Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddhi. Sattva Shuddhi, Dhruva Smriti. So, and I forgot the next part, by having that advanced, by eating proper grains, we get the consciousness is purified, the intelligence is nourished, and through that advanced intelligence, nourishment, the finer brain tissues develop with which we can understand spiritual knowledge, right? Therefore, in the beginning, it is recommended these advanced topics. Someone may not be able to digest. What are you guys talking about? Okay, just give them prasad. Let the prasad work. Let the prasad work and purify the person. Because until the person is fit to even receive, they will not be even eager. So the food like onion, garlic, etc., and some other items also, they are considered in the mode of ignorance. So therefore, by consuming those, we will get into the lower modes, which will not help in spiritual advancement. Now, someone will say, well, they have medical properties and this, a lot of reasons are there. For that, you can hear a 1.5 hour class by Sri Samarendra Prabhu about onion and garlic. Because, so.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, Anita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, another basic question, and I think it's from last week class. Some of the new devotees were asking me, and I was not sure about the answer on offering of the prasadam, like if, how they can cook if their utensils that they have been using so far, they have cooked meat also in that utensils. So are they supposed to change the entire utensils because they have to cook prasadam for Krishna? So I just told them I'll ask you and confirm back. You are on mute, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is a very, very particular situation, and I need to know more details. So, are they chanting the holy names, etc., or?
Yeah, they started chanting.
They started chanting. So, and there looks like their family may not be supported. Their family may want to eat, and they have stopped eating those things. Okay, so this happens. This is a very common situation, and may happen to multiple people, that the wife may want to eat non-veg, but the husband does not. So, or the wife may want to practice Krishna consciousness, but the husband may not. So something like that, or the kids. So there could be some members of the family who want this way of. So we have to be very careful in those situations and do what will not upset in the sense what will not cause unnecessary agitation. So it's a very important point. We have to deal this with very mature guidance, and I'm just sharing some open thoughts. It needs very mature, a lot of mature guidance is required, because we don't want to strain relationship. Like the last thing would be, which the guru would want, is that family is dysfunctional, right? That's the last thing, because that's the sanctity of the ashram is the topmost priority. Okay, yes, the ashram, right? Because husband wife having a good relationship, but at the same time, uh, see how we can make spiritual progress. So in those situations, let's see, like what is doable, like what is practical. Can they buy one more, 2, 3 more bartans, utensils, if possible? It doesn't cost a lot to get, maybe possible. So maybe they can cook separately. If the other members are fine, okay, they say, okay, you do your part, you make this for me, that's fine. I don't mind you practicing that. You can make your own dal, roti, sabji, but make this for me. So the wife should do that. The wife should not say, hey, I'm not eating it, so I will not cook for you. That's immature behavior. It will not help them. It will not help the family. There have been multiple practical cases, so I'm just repeating that, right? So wife, if, you know, and naturally and periodically, it's even if let's say the husband is eating non-veg, if wife has to cook, okay, cook, that's fine, right? As a stri dharma, patni dharma, they have to follow what they have to follow, right? But at the same time, sometimes they can give prasadam that I made. Can you take some time? Maybe not every day, but once a while, the purification will happen. And it's not that everyone is eating non-veg like all 3 times a meal, right? I'm sure everyone takes fruits, nuts, little bit, dairy products, etc. So those can be offered and given to the whole family members, even if they're eating non-veg. So gradually purification will happen through prasadam. And of course, good association is required. So in short, coming back to your specific question, can they offer? If they can get separate ingredients, well and good. I don't think that's like a showstopper. Like it doesn't cost a lot to get 2, 3 separate bartans. And if that is also not possible, which I highly doubt, that then at least they can mentally offer, right? That Krishna, I could not even do best for you. Like, sometimes I'll share my example. I had to travel. If I'm traveling for 2, 3 weeks, then I can't carry the whole new set of bartan. And now I'm not saying this is the best way of doing. I'm not a pure devotee. I am also struggling. Now I have the option either to go in a hotel and eat out there, and I have the option to cook myself in the Airbnb or the hotel I am living in. There are some utensils in there, and there are certain things I'm not carrying the whole set of utensils, which that would be ideal actually. If one can do that, some devotees do that, but I'm not yet there due to my shortcomings. So I cooked in those. I cleansed them nicely. I mentally invoked the holy rivers, Gangecha, Yamunecha, and then with that water, I made these utensils be purified, and then cook, and then offer, and then honor that prasad. That's, I feel, is 1,000 times better than eating someone in so-called hotel or what. So these are some thoughts I feel. So you have to see based on time, place, situation. There's no one answer to these very, very specific cases. Lot of specific. There's no general answer in these situations. So I would say close guidance. So you as your well-wisher can guide them closely. So that the first thing is, the main thing is to keep the main thing, right? That's what is Vishwashishika Prabhu says. You should always keep the main thing as the main thing. That's the sanctity of the ashram. Relationships should not get spoiled in all these things. We should think long term, right? Because sometimes devotees may immaturely act, and that may lead to long term problems. We don't want that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Well, thank you. I hope it was of some meaning. But Okay, anyone, any other comments, thoughts, questions before we wrap up? We can take maybe one last one. All of you are so sincere, so eager, so grateful to all of you. Okay, so thank you again for giving this wonderful chance. I'm so grateful to all of you. Today is Varadwadashi as well. Tomorrow is day after, actually. Day after is 14th February, Valentine's Day. You know, you have to link by the modern things to remember. One devotee shared a nice video about Valentine's Day. I'll share with all of you so you can see what is the real meaning of Valentine. It was actually Saint Valentine, but now the saint has gone, who sacrificed himself to give the real joy and love and happiness to others, right? But now it's a very crooked meaning of that because, you know, in material world, negative things spread faster. So anyways, but thank you again for your time and your wonderful association. We'll continue next time with the next verse. Bhagavad Gita Upanishad ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta
Jai.
Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Jai Shri
Jai.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Jai Shri Krishna, Hari Bol, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo
Asitubhyevacha patitanam pavabhyo.
Vaishnavi. Hare Krishna, thank you again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol.
Haribol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.